Come on in to Margaret McSweeney's Kitchen for Kitchen Chat, where every week you'll meet chefs, cookbook authors, foodies, gourmets, and just plain people who love to eat. And along with laughter, chat, recipes, and stories about food, you'll sometimes also hear words of inspiration, love, and hope. As Margaret always says, Kitchen Chat is food for the senses and food for the soul. So grab a cup of coffee, put your feet up on a comfy chair, and get ready to spend a little time with Margaret and her friends.
Hello, dear foodie friends, and welcome to Kitchen Chat. I'm your host, Margaret McSweeney, and I'm so glad you're joining me today at Les Dames d'Escoffier Conference with two of my favorite dames, the Queen of Breakfast, Ina Pinkney, and Dame Denise Vivaldo. And thank you for all the influence you've had on me in my culinary journey. You both have been such important guideposts to me.
That was kind. Thank you.
So, and I would love to talk first about what women can do to support each other, because the culinary industry and other industries as well, it can be challenging at times. And what have you learned through your friendship and through Les Dames?
First, I want to say that we met at a conference, and it was a food bloggers conference and influencers.
And you know what? From across the room, our energies drew each other to us.
And Denise came up to me afterward and said, I figured out now that I was supposed to be here to meet you.
Well, that's true. Because it was, her presentation was with her movie, and I was there to meet her. That's what I know, that the universe put me there. And she said one of the greatest things, and I have to say it ever, is that as we all look for new things to do in our career, and as I'm looking to get off the stage that I've been on and possibly do something else, still in food, but just differently, this one says to me, Denise, take everything you know and pivot. I know, but I thought I was there to meet her. Yes. Because she's helping me.
So that really should answer your question, is that we as women in this food world constantly pay attention to the other women in this food world. And you can guarantee that if I have something to say that I think is important for you, I'm going to tell you. Yes. I'm going to help you figure out your next path. Yes. And that's really part of the enormity of what we do for each other, the mentoring. You don't have to be an elder and a young one to have mentoring, as you see.
And I think sharing valuable information. I don't know when this came out of vogue. Do you know what I mean? It's the elders of the tribes or people that have been around. They do know things. Yes. Now, maybe not as quick on the iPad, but when she doesn't come with iPad, they know something else. And I'm not saying that about Ina or myself, because we're techno wizards. Yes. And people come to us and say, oh, please help me with
how do I get out of airplane mode?
But and Margaret, that's it. And you know that. And that's why you do these. But I think my career, for me, has been wonderful, but half my career is to all the women that helped me every step of the way. People that encouraged me, people that believed in me, people that said something kind to me on a bad day. Do you know what I mean? That they didn't know that little tiny thing would give me the courage to go forward.
And 25 years ago when I started the breakfast restaurant in Chicago, aptly called Ina's, they never took me seriously. They went, oh, that's just some, lady cooking breakfast. Yes. I was never taken seriously. So my goal now is every time I read about a young woman who's working in a restaurant, in a kitchen, in any capacity, I call her and I say, please come and have breakfast with me, so that she knows that we are here for her. We, the collective we, that if I don't have the information she needs or she wants to make a change and go into a different direction, I can lead her into the right person to make that decision.
And isn't that what Les Dames is supposed to do? Right. I mean, I think so. Yes. All I know is that to have met Carol Brock this time for the moment.
I know. Can you imagine the visionary?
And she did it because she couldn't get into the men's club. Right. So she made her own, and which is my famous, I like to say, wasn't my line, it's Gloria Steinem's. Don't ask them for a piece of their pie, bake your own pie. And I think that this group is That's what it is. We're making changes for women.
Yes.
And we're making changes for each other.
Yes.
I can remember so many times being contacted by somebody in this group that I have met over the last 25 years that I've been a member, or maybe even more. And they said, do you know anybody who? And I go, absolutely. And so there we are. We spread the information, we spread the joy, and we spread the possibilities.
Yes.
The possibilities.
Yes.
Always the possibilities.
I love this pivot. Possibilities.
Yes. Oh, that's great.
Yes. Any other P word?
I was having lunch with a dear friend today, beautiful woman. But it was funny, and she's taken classes from me and I've known her, but she turned to me all of a sudden and she said, yesterday you said hope, which is when I was speaking, hope is not a good enough plan. Do you know what I mean? You need to, and she got very emotional about it. She said, Denise, you have no idea how that touched me at the moment. And I thought, well, how lucky was that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
So there's another P word, planning.
There you go. Well, maybe that's it.
Planning, possibilities.
And pivot. Yes.
The pivot was really pivotal.
Well, that's what happened. That's exactly true. Well, that's what happened with me. I mean, I didn't know that when I closed the restaurant that I would have a book, and then the book led to the movie, and then the movie led to the column in the Chicago Tribune, the monthly column. I didn't plan that part. I just instinctively said, what's next? And I was wide open to what was next.
That's it.
Yes.
And then it happened because you were open to it.
I'm ready. I was born ready.
Now, Ina and I we are thinking of taking this on the road, just in case. We're looking for what they say in,
We're like Thelma Louise without the death.
That's right. Neither of us like convertibles and
The hair.
no cliffs. But we're looking for angel investors so that we can do just a small little show on Broadway. And it'll just, by the way, have a lot of sets. It's going to be just you and me.
It's going to be called post-traumatic restaurant business.
Now this is my favorite, and I'm stealing this from Nancy McDermott.
Okay.
So they were giving at lunch all these lovely awards, and you saw the videos. Everybody was 12. They were, they were charming. They were 20 years old. And I said to Jill, I said, God, I love the videos of the kids, don't you? And they were all getting prizes for, I went to the goat farm. I learned about wine. And I said, well, do they give any, awards to us the more mature member? And Nancy McDermott said, yeah, they're going to call it out to pasture.
And that's not the other P word.
Oh, no, that's true. And I thought, with a ribbon. With a bell. But I thought we could do it.
So
maybe that's the name of our show, Out to Pasture.
I love this.
Better and wiser now.
Right. And we share that wisdom every chance we get.
Yes.
Mostly nobody understands us, but we keep doing it.
It's their losses.
That's right, it is.
So what would you say to maybe a listener or viewer out there today who is at that stage to pivot, but they feel stuck? And no matter what industry, I know we're typically talking of food.
There's courage there. I mean, you can have faith, you can have planning, you can have what we've talked about, but there has to be part of you. And when it's courageous, it may also be meaning that you believe in yourself. I was just saying before we were doing this, and she was saying that she has more than she has everything she needs. I'm a firm believer in I have everything I need. So the reason when people think that I've been brave, it's not really that. I'm pretty sure that it's going to work out because it always has. Do you know what I mean? Not in that, but I mean, I'm sure it's going to be okay because it is going to be okay.
Right.
And the other thing I want to say is
trust in something, yourself, the universe.
I am fearless, but I am not reckless.
There you go.
So I may say to you, I'm going to jump off that little step over there, but you can be sure I know already what is right below that step.
Good idea.
Yes.
Good.
It's not that I'm blindly going in fearlessness. I am absolutely fearless, but I am completely not reckless.
That's a way to put it.
Such wisdom.
You have to believe in yourself.
You do. Yes.
And
be prepared for it.
Be prepared.
Be prepared. Do your research. When I quit a job, to start to freelance, the biggest thing I did was I took a pen and a paper, and I say all the time, but I made a budget. How much does it cost me to live? What can I do to, cut my costs? And then I took in a roommate because I had a 2-bedroom condo. Turned out to be a wonderful, she was lovely, took care of my cat when I traveled. But there were so many things. But once I put it in paper, it wasn't frightening anymore. I wasn't afraid to leave my paycheck because I had a plan.
Right.
Yes.
And I've always said if you have enough money to pay for the roof over your head and some gas in the car and some food in the fridge, you can make the change. You can actually make the change.
It's a great one.
I love that because, this is a P word that a lot of us are not eager to talk about, and that is prosperity.
Yes.
And you held a great seminar yesterday, workshop about that. And how can you help get women, get over their fear of that prosperity?
See, when Ina just said fearless but not reckless, I think that many of us have fears that are not grounded.
Right.
Now, some of it we're taught. We are taught fears. You're afraid of that, or don't touch that, or don't do this, or don't do this.
Or the disease to please keeps you back.
That's the big one.
Yes.
And we're taught it from childhood. So after you're inundated with that for 40 years, you're scared. Do you know what I mean? You're scared to make changes, or scared that I know mine used to be, I did want everyone to like me. And then I realized something. Not everyone's going to like me, but you know what? I don't like everyone. So why should everybody like me? But once I really said to myself, I don't care about what other people think of me. I care what I think about me. It changed my life.
Right. The whole perspective
But
changes.
I was raised by a woman who said, you want every, you know what I mean? My mother had fears, and she,
imbued them, didn't you?
of course. And then when I kind of threw them off, that made her more afraid. God bless her. God bless her.
It's
But we
true.
worked it out. But it is.
Yeah.
We're given these things as girls, especially as children.
Right.
Don't do that. Don't swear. Don't do that. Don't act like that. Don't ask the boy out. You know what I mean? There's so many no's that of course we're fearful. And then one day we get tired of being fearful.
And say, what the hell?
What the hell?
Let's just do it.
I say this all the time to Cindy. What's the worst thing that could happen to us? I always say it. My first husband didn't want to work, and then he fell in love with a 28-year-old that was blonde. Everything's bad's already happened to me. What the hell? Sorry? What the hell?
And everything good has now happened to me.
That's right.
So, I have all that to build on.
Yes.
Every time I said yes to something, and every time I achieved that, it just built up all of the possibilities even higher.
This is just so encouraging. Women should not be afraid. They should be fearless in life and apply these principles of P, I guess we could call it, the principles of P that we've talked about, purpose, planning, prosperity, and potential, pivot. Yes, all these keywords. And no matter what age or stage you might be, it's not too early. It's not too late.
I so agree with that.
Yes.
Because I learn things every day.
How old are you now?
I'm 66.
And I'm 74 and a half. I know it. When you get to my age, you use the halves. Because it's very exciting to get to be almost 75.
I don't blame you.
I know. So we just want everybody to know how proud we are to be who we are at this moment.
Yes. And this conference has been fabulous. And thank you, Margaret, for having us do our stick together. Because this is kind of our demo reel today.
Oh, yes.
This is sort of on the road.
We are on the road. Oh, this is just so special. And listeners and viewers, I'll make sure that I have links to your websites and wonderful cookbooks. Real quickly, can you share your latest cookbook and project?
My latest book is the Food Stylist Handbook, and it's in its second printing, and it's selling like wildfires.
Yes. And you have styled for some of the top celebrities around. And any quick 3 tips for styling and entertaining at home that you've done for the celebrities?
You need to have color, you need to have definition, and you need to have elevation. Whether you're food styling or doing things in your own kitchen.
Great advice. And with you, dear Ina?
Ina's Kitchen, available wherever books are sold. And it's really it's a memoir as well as a cookbook. All of the recipes from my restaurant that I closed 3 years and 10 months and 27 days ago. And I've never been happier. So the book is really it's me. It's me. You take me home with you.
Very dear. It's very dear. Very inspiring. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful book.
And there's a picture of me in the 60s when I was really hot.
So hot. So
like
hot.
Barbara
So
Streisand.
Like Barbara Streisand.
Yes.
I look hot.
And you also have a documentary out.
I do. It's called Breakfast at Ina's, and it's not on streaming yet.
Okay.
And when it is, I'll tell you, and we'll come back and do that. But right now, it's in film festivals all over the country.
Remarkable. It's a remarkable documentary. I've gotten to see it. It's absolutely remarkable.
Thank you for saying that.
And thank you, both of you, for being such great mentors and encouragers in my life on my midlife culinary journey. I just so
It's a pleasure,
appreciate
darling.
it.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, dear foodie friends, for joining me on Kitchen Chat. Make sure you visit me in my kitchen, kitchenchat.info. And always remember to take a moment and savor the day.
Thanks for joining Margaret for Kitchen Chat today. Margaret would be so excited for you to drop by and visit with her at kitchenchat.info, where you'll enjoy podcasts, blogs, recipes, tips from chefs, and even great giveaways. She invites you to share your recipes and kitchen stories too. As Margaret always says, savor the day.